say the size.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Me Too English Club. This is the place where we make learning English easy, practical, and most importantly, fun. I'm Emily.
And I'm Paul. Hello, everyone. It is great to be back here with you all. Emily, I have a quick confession to make before we start today's lesson.
Oh, a confession? What's on your mind, Paul? You look a bit stressed out.
Well, I am incredibly thirsty, and there is a Starbucks right across the street. I really want to go grab a drink. But to be completely honest, I'm also a bit worried. Actually, let's call it coffee anxiety.
Coffee anxiety? Why on earth are you worried, Paul? Starbucks is supposed to be a cozy, great place to relax, read a book, or chat with friends.
I know. On the outside, it looks so welcoming, but once you step inside and get in line, it feels like they have their own secret language. Last time I went in and asked for a small coffee, the barista looked at me so strangely. It made me feel so awkward. And have you seen the menu board? It is filled with so many long words.
You are completely right, Paul. And you are definitely not alone. Millions of English learners and even native speakers feel intimidated the first time they walk into a Starbucks. Starbucks uses special Italian-inspired names for almost everything. But don't worry, in this guide, we are going to crack the code. Today, we're going to solve the sizing trap and master the most popular coffee names so you can order like a pro.
Wow, that is exactly what I need, a real survival guide. Let's virtually walk into the shop right now, look at that big menu, and tackle it together.
Let's start with the absolute biggest obstacle for beginners, the sizes. If you understand this part, your coffee anxiety will drop by 50%.
Yes, let's look at this first. Usually in a normal coffee shop or fast food restaurant, it's pretty straightforward. I just say, can I get a small, medium, or large coffee? But at Starbucks, the labels on the cups are totally different.
Exactly. They don't use standard English size descriptors. The small size is actually called tall. Let's practice that together. Listen carefully and say it with Paul. Tall.
Tall. You know, Emily, it's just so funny and confusing to me because in regular English, the word tall usually means high or not short, right? Like a tall building or a tall person. But at Starbucks, it actually means the small cup. It feels backwards.
It really does. It's because of how their menu evolved over the years. But today, just remember that tall is your baseline small. Now, let's move on to the medium size. The medium size is called grande. It's an Italian word that means large or big. Repeat after me, everyone. Grande.
Grande. Okay, so this is another trap. It sounds like the English word grand or the Spanish or Italian word for large, but at Starbucks, it's actually just the medium size. It's right in the middle.
Spot on, Paul. You're getting the hang of this. Finally, we have the large size for those days when you need a serious dose of caffeine. The large size is called venti. Repeat after me. Venti.
Venti. Now that one sounds completely foreign. What does venti even mean?
Great question. Venti means 20 in Italian. It's called that because the hot drink cup is 20 ounces. So just remember that venti is the big one.
Ah, 20 ounces. That actually makes sense now. Let me see if I can remember the full lineup from smallest to largest. Tall, grande, and venti.
Perfect pronunciation. Now, let me give you a quick tip. If you get nervous at the counter and accidentally say medium, don't panic. The barista will definitely understand you. However, they might politely repeat it back to you using the Starbucks code, saying something like, "Sure, so you mean a grande?"
Okay, that makes me feel much better. But I want to sound confident, so I will definitely try my best to use the proper Starbucks words next time. Tall, grande, venti. Got it.
Brilliant. Now that we've mastered the sizes, let's look at the actual drinks on the menu. Let's start with something classic. The most basic and popular espresso and milk drink is a cafe latte, or most people just shorten it to a latte.
Latte. Hey, I know that one. That's a very easy one to remember. It's basically just coffee with a lot of milk, right?
Correct. It's espresso with steamed milk and a little bit of foam on top. Now, what if you don't want any milk at all? If you prefer strong black coffee, you should ask for an Americano.
Americano. I can definitely remember that one. It's just shots of espresso diluted with hot water to make it taste more like traditional drip coffee.
Look at you. You're a coffee expert already. Now, let's step up the difficulty a bit and look at some of the harder, longer words on the menu. If you are craving something cold, sweet, and blended with ice, almost like a coffee milkshake, you want to order a frappuccino. Let's break it down and say it slowly together. Frap-pa-chi-no.
Frappuccino. Wow, that is a long word. It sounds super fancy, but it's basically a blended ice drink. My friends love getting those with whipped cream on top.
Oh, the whipped cream is a must. Now, let's look at another crowd favorite, the caramel macchiato. You have to be very careful with the pronunciation here. Look at the spelling. Macchiato. The CH in macchiato does not sound like the CH in chair. Instead, it sounds like a hard K sound.
Oh, wow. Thank you for pointing that out. I probably would have said macchiato, so it's pronounced like a K, macchiato. Let me try the whole phrase, caramel macchiato. How was that?
Absolutely perfect. You nailed it. See, it's not as scary as it looks once you know the rules. Now that you know the basics, Paul, let me ask you a quick preference question. Do you generally prefer cold coffee or hot coffee?
Oh, that's an easy one for me. I almost always prefer iced coffee. Especially during the hot summer months, there's nothing better than an ice-cold caffeine kick to get me through the afternoon.
I totally agree. Now, that we've covered the sizes and the basic menu, let's move on to step 3. Once you choose your drink, the barista will almost always ask you a very straightforward question: hot or iced?
Right, and to make the process smoother, I should probably tell them what temperature I want right from the beginning, right?
Exactly, Paul. Pro tip: always say the temperature before the drink name and the size. It makes it so much easier for the person taking your order. For example, you should say, "Can I get a grande iced latte, please?" Let's practice that phrasing together.
Can I get a grande iced latte, please?
That sounds very natural. But what if it's a chilly winter day and I want a hot drink instead? Then you just swap out the word. You would say, "A grande hot latte, please." Let's practice that version as well. A grande hot latte, please.
A grande hot latte, please. Okay, that's simple enough. Temperature first, then the size, then the drink. But Emily, I've heard baristas ask another question that completely confused me. When I ordered a plain black coffee, they asked, "Any room?"
Ah, the famous room question.
Yeah, I was so confused. I thought, room? Do they want me to move to a different room? Am I standing in the wrong place?
No, not at all, Paul. Don't worry, you don't need to change rooms. In a coffee shop context, room doesn't mean a physical room in a building. It means empty space. They're asking if they should leave some empty space at the very top of your cup.
Oh, empty space. But why would I want my cup to be less than full?
Because a lot of people like to walk over to the condiment bar and pour in their own milk, cream, or sugar. If the barista fills the coffee right up to the brim, your drink will overflow when you add your milk. So leaving room prevents a messy spill.
Wow, that makes perfect sense. So room just means space for cream or milk. If I want that extra space, I can just say, "Yes, please." And if I want my cup completely full of black coffee, I can say, "No, thanks."
You've got it. You're a natural at this. Now, let's put everything we've learned so far into practice with a realistic role play. I will act as the Starbucks staff, and Paul, you will be the guest. Listen carefully to the flow of the conversation. We will read this slowly. Hi there. Welcome to Starbucks. What can I get started for you today?
Hello. I'll have a grande iced Americano, please.
Sure thing. A grande iced Americano. Did you want any room for milk in that?
No, thank you. Keep it full. That's all for today.
Perfect. Your total comes to $4. Brilliant job, Paul. That was incredibly smooth. Now, listeners, it's your turn to practice your speaking skills. We're going to do a repeat after me segment. Don't be shy. Say it out loud wherever you are. Repeat right after Paul. I'll have a grande iced Americano, please.
I'll have a grande iced Americano, please.
Excellent. Now, let's practice responding to the room question. Repeat after Paul. No room for milk, thank you.
No room for milk, thank you.
Wow, I can hear the confidence growing through the microphone. Fantastic job, everyone.
Whew, Emily, I honestly feel so much better now. I know my Starbucks sizes, I understand the main coffee menu, and I even know how to answer the room question without looking for a door.
You are doing absolutely amazing, Paul. You should be proud of yourself. But don't get too comfortable just yet, because the Starbucks journey doesn't end here. There is still a lot more to cover.
Oh, really? What else is left?
In part 2 of our guide, we are going to dive into advanced customization. We will talk about different milk alternatives like oat milk and almond milk, how to ask the staff to warm up your bakery food, and, of course, the infamous name on the cup ritual.
Oh no, the name on the cup. Ugh, I've seen the memes online. I really hope they don't spell my name totally wrong and call me Pool or Pal.
It happens to the best of us, Paul. We will teach you exactly how to handle that right after the break. Stay tuned, listeners, and we will see you in part 2.
See you all in part 2. Don't go away.
Bye.